having him here in your neck of the woods here?
Well, I think the president is the president of the country. He's the most powerful political leader on earth, and he's certainly not only the leader of our country, but in so many ways he's the symbol of our country internationally. And to have him here in this backyard, this modest home, I think is wonderful.
When he talks about, well, first off, when he talks about the economy, and you're trying to spend it to get that message out in Ohio here locally, you're on the same page here. The economy's getting better, and that helps your campaign.
Well, I mean, the economy is getting better. It's doing it very slowly, as he said. I think the president was very realistic in what he had to say today about the cause of the recession and what is being done to try to overcome it and to move out of it. But we are seeing job growth. It's slow. We want it to be faster. That's why we're working to do the things that we think will create an economic environment that will make Ohio attractive for investment and job growth. That's why we're working with financial institutions to try to loosen up the credit for our small business community. We're doing those things, trying to improve education. All of those things are foundational to economic growth. But the president was correct. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. But we are, I believe, headed in the right direction.
The recovery summer.
Listen, what we have said consistently is that we are going to be putting people to work all across this country, and that's happening. Now, states and local governments are still having huge budget problems. And so even as we're increasing infrastructure projects, clean energy projects, all that stuff that we're doing, we've also got to make sure that the private sector ultimately is making investments. One of our biggest priorities is making sure that we've got a private sector that, having made profits, having cash on hand, is now placing its bet on the American worker and the American people.
Any regrets jumping into the Islamic Center?
I tell you, it's working in Columbus. I'll tell you that. Recovery's working in Columbus.
Say that universities need to demand more out of teachers. It says to me that John Kasich thinks he's a very special person, that the rules that apply to everyone else don't need to apply to him. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. There are students who are paying back student loans and sat through a class where he got $4,000 to come in and apparently talk off the top of his head about a book he had just read. That says something about his judgment, and quite frankly, I think it says something about his character.
Governor, does it say something about the president as well?
It does, absolutely. Ohio State is culpable in making such an arrangement. I absolutely agree with you. We expect tuition to be held at a reasonable rate. We expect our students to be able to get an affordable education without going deeply into debt. And for the university to have paid not only John Kasich apparently $4,000 for walking into a class and coaching off the top of his head, but an additional $20,000 for a campus aide. If he only showed up 4 times a month, what did that campus aide do? Look for a parking place?
There are some Democrats around the country who are reluctant to be aligned on the campaign trail with the president. You are clearly not one of them. Why the difference?
Well, because I think the president and our Democratic friends in Congress saved the auto industry. Hundreds of thousands of Ohioans are working today because of that action. I think they helped us hold down tuition. I think they enabled us to keep our faith with our K-12 education system. I think they are helping us build roads and bridges and developing infrastructure for our state. I think he has stopped the free fall. When the president became president that month, America lost 750,000 jobs. The president and our Democratic friends in Congress stopped that free fall. We are now at a place of starting to rebuild this economy, and that's why I'm happy to have the president here.
I don't hear it.
Thank you all very much.
I've said all along that this is a local decision, but what concerns me is that Karl Rove and Newt Gingrich always find an issue to distract attention away from the real issues of the day. I mean, these are people that want to privatize Social Security. They want tax cuts for the rich, but they want to change people so they don't think about it by distracting them on these issues.
Senator.
Thanks, Senator. Thanks.